Hello, people of the internet. I'm Dear Gremlin, and welcome to Week 5 of Season 4 of the Pokédex Holders League. I am Dear Gremlin, proud coach of the Southend Stoutlands, and this week we are taking on Coach Yoshi of the St Louis Fletchinders. And housekeeping, this is Week 5 going up before Week 4 because I was on holiday last week. Yoshi's going on holiday this week. Had to do it in the middle, and I'm battling Sil as my Week 4 opponent literally today, so we just swapped the weeks round. Also, because of that, no time for a team builder. Also, this is really late. Yoshi has his own video. It was livecom, it's been up for ages. You should go watch it. I have had so many problems with my screen recorder in the battle. I tried doing livecom, I disconnected twice before the game even started. The screen started freezing. I just said, okay, I'm just going to stop recording, focus on the battle. And for the first few turns, because of that, I think I did play on tilt, and we'll see how it turns out. So I'll quickly run through my team. I'm bringing a Choice Scarf Infernape with Flare Blitz, U-Turn, Stone Edge, Gunk Shot. I'm bringing a Spadef Shaman with Earth Power, Giga Drain, Leech Seed Synthesis. I am bringing a especially defensive Bronzong, Toxic, Gyro Ball, Earthquake, Hidden Power, Fire. I'm bringing a physically defensive Donphan with Stealth Rocks, Ice Shard, Earthquake, Toxic, Standard Beedrill, and a Choice Specs, Jellicent. So the plan going into things was to lead with Jellicent. He leads with Lando. He either Stealth Rocks or U-Turn. He has no reason to do anything but that. And I just click Choice Specs, Water Spout, and I get a kill. But I was on tilt. And so I thought, I need Rocks up. I'm going to lead with Donphan. And as you can see, the screen is freezing. And I thought the problems were sorted. But evidently not. So he leads off with Landorus. I lead off with my Donphan. And he's just going to get up Stealth Rocks. I go for the Ice Shard to scout the damage. This is a terrible play. I knew he was going to be defensive. I knew it was going to do that much. I should have got my Rocks up on this turn, and that way I could click Toxic on the following turn when he U-turns out. And then he wouldn't have a free switch into Ninetales, because he might not know what I'm going to go for. I could go for a Heavy Slam. And then he gets a free Aurora Veil up. I'm like, oh, this is really bad. I have to go into my Bronzong. My only switch into this thing. And it's like my only thing that can kill it through Aurora Veil as well. So he gets the Aurora Veil up, and this is a huge turn here. And I disconnected again on this turn, which was so fun. But I knew he was going to go into the Magnezone, and I have Earthquake. Even through Aurora Veil, it does upwards of 40%. Depending on his spread, it can be a 2-hit KO. So I really had no reason not to go for the Earthquake, but I think in my head, I was thinking, Earthquake's too obvious. He's going to make the safe play into Mandibuzz before he goes into the Magnezone. So I go for the Toxic, predicting the Mandibuzz, and he goes into Magnezone and traps my Bronzong. But this wasn't too much of a problem because I can just Earthquake again. That's why I didn't make the Earthquake prediction, which I knew was going to happen in my head. And he clicks Magnet Rise. And that means, sorry about that, even when I'm recording, I disconnect, the internet dropped. But yes, so he makes a brilliant play, Magnet Rise, traps my Bronzong in, and I lose my Bronzong. And I said to myself at this point, no, I've lost. I needed Bronzong. It's my only Lele response. It's my only Ninetales switch in. It was one of the better ways of dealing with this Magnezone because of Earthquake, but obviously he out-prepped me there. And I lose my Bronzong really early on, and that's just terrible. It was also a good way to Toxic the Mandibuzz, which I needed. He still got the Magnet Rise up. I don't want to click the Infernape button just yet, so I just go out into my Shaman, and I just clicked the Leech Seed. I kind of expected Ninetales to come in, but if I go for the Leech Seed on this turn, then on the next turn I have a free switch into my Infernape, because I get the Leech Seed recovery back. So that's my first good series of plays in the match. But he does just get Aurora Veil up again completely for free. I know he doesn't want to risk anything at this point. He still has this Landorus at a fine amount of HP. He has to go into Landorus. I know that. I have to go for the U-turn. So a U-turn on the Lando, and I believe I go into Jellicent. Yes. And here, on turn 10, is the situation I should have been in on turn 1. With my Jellicent in against the Landorus, and he has no reason not to click anything but U-turn, and I can just Choice Specs Water Spout and get a kill. Unfortunately, Rocks are up, Hail's up, Aurora Veil's up. This means that my Water Spout damage is going to be decreased because of Rocks and Hail damage, and it's going to be heavily decreased by Aurora Veil. And I should have taken those things into consideration, and I should have clicked the Scald and tried to damage this thing, because he said to himself, I can live any hit, I'm just going to knock off. And that means my Water Spout does nothing, and I lose my Jellicent for no reason. And that was really bad, because, I mean, had I brought the Choice Scarf Jellicent that I was planning with, and I led with it, I definitely would have killed this Landorus. Had I have clicked the Scald there, I would have done a lot to him. It's just like, I just thought he couldn't run that risk of losing his Lando, because his Lando is just so important. But I have to go into Shaman whilst the Aurora Veil's up. I need damage on this Lando so Infernape can 2-hit KO it. But it's really not looking good, but Infernape can still clean. So even though I kept saying to myself, it's over, I've lost, I'm just playing for differential, Infernape could still clean this game. And I just kept on clicking Giga Drain because I didn't want to offer the free switch into the Ninetales, and I get a little bit of juicy health back, so we get a kill. We're not getting 6-0 this time, baby. So that's good. Ninetales gone, no more Aurora Veil. Once Hail runs out, it's over. He goes into Lele. I can't allow my Shaman to get 2 damage, so I just sack off my Donphan. I could have stayed in with my Shaman and gone for a Synthesis, because he did about 47% damage to me, but then with Hail, I just didn't like that, things like Sped drops and crits, so I go into Choice Scarf Infernape, and I should have really paused to talk about that play a bit more, because it was a roll to kill Lele from there. He was definitely Choice Scarf Lele, he had to be, there's no reason not to be, but he knew that I had no reason to not be Choice Scarfed Infernape. So I was so far behind, I knew I had to make plays, and I was like, I could U-turn, I could make the safe gunk shot play, Flare Blitz, it looked like it was a roll slightly in my favour, and it also looked like I could kill the Landorus after 2 hits. So I just clicked the Flare Blitz, he does switch into Lando, do I get the rolls? I do 23%, and after Hail and Lefties, that puts him at 22%, and I'm like, thank you, Infernape's gonna pick up a kill. And now I'm really feeling like, oh, I can do this. I got rid of his only real Beedrill and Infernape response, and he goes into the Mandibuzz. And this is where I realised that maybe I was getting my hopes up. Because this Mandibuzz, it takes about 40-ish% from both Infernape and from Beedrill, and I lost my 2 Toxicas, and that was my way of beating this thing, was Toxic, and then Leech and Synthesis stall it with Shaman, and I'm like, oh god damn it, this is real bad. This is really bad. But, having said that, it still can't switch in to a Flare Blitz, or a Stone Edge, or a Poison Jab, or any of these things. It can't switch in on them. So as long as I force the Mandibuzz out, I'm still in with a chance. So I have to go into my Shaman. He just foul plays, and I'm just like, okay, we'll go for the Leech Seed. We'll get some recovery going on my Shaman. I kind of expected him to switch out, but fortunately for me, he switches out into the Magnezone first, and I can go for the Leech Seed. And then here, there's absolutely no way he's staying in. I could have the Earth Power. I take any hit with ease, so I just Leech Seed again, I believe. Right? Or a Synthesis, rather. Yes, sorry, that's a good play. I could have gone for the Leech Seed. He goes for the Psychic, and I go for the Leech Seed, because I knew I could live the Psychic, and with Leech Seed recovery, I could live another one. But let me tell you, he does 47.4%. My calc said max 47.3%. And that was the tiniest difference, was just a crucial piece of information. Because that means he's modest. He's modest, Lele. That reduces my Shaman's ability to take it on, which isn't good. So I kind of know that he's gonna switch out here, but I have to synthesis regardless. It'll put me at a good amount of HP. But look, this Mandibuzz, it feels like it's so low, but it can just throw stuff, and I'm like, okay, I have to Leech Seed it. Like, Leech Seed, try and predict his roost and get a free switch into one of my other mons. That was weird, whole screen froze. But I miss my Leech Seed, and he gets a Toxic off. And even though I have Natural Cure, that's real bad, because he has to roost on the following turn. So if I hit that first Leech Seed, I could have gotten a free switch into my Beedrill. I could have gone for the Poison Jab, and I would have had a 30% chance to poison him. And I think at that point, more problems with recording. Chrome crashed, but I think I was saying if I'd gotten the Leech Seed on the following turn, he would have had to roost, and I would have gotten free switch into Beedrill, had a 30% chance to poison him, and then like with Leech recovery and stuff, I might have been able to beat this Mandibuzz. But it doesn't happen, but I'm still holding out the hope. Foul Play could just about kill my Beedrill, so I just go for the Giga Drain, just get a little bit of chip damage off, and he goes for the Roost. I didn't expect that when he was at full, but I'm like, okay, if that's his play to just Toxic Stall me, I'm gonna switch out into Beedrill, heal up my Shaman, I can't stay on with this Toxic, and I try and get the free switch into Beedrill, and that's the turn where he Foul Plays. And if you watch his side of the battle, that wasn't a prediction, he just wanted damage on my Shaman. Which I don't understand making those two plays that way round. You know, it's like, surely you'd Foul Play first and then go for the Roost. That made so much more sense to me. Like, when I saw he was just going to Roost, I was like, alright, free switch into Beedrill. Nope, he Foul Plays. And I lose my Beedrill. And it's looking pretty bad. And so, my Infernape can actually live a Foul Play. Especially after Leech Seed. So I just go into Caesar, and we're going to click the Stone Edge, and we need to... we missed the Stone Edge. We actually missed the Stone Edge. And he goes for the Toxic, and that's pretty bad, because now my Caesar can't really live like Flare Blitz and Recall and stuff. Thanks to Leech Seed recovery, we're getting a little bit of health back. I go for Stone Edge again. He switches into Primarina. This thing doesn't want to take a Stone Edge. Not one bit. And I miss the Stone Edge again. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. I'm like, okay, it's fine. Like, I know I have to switch into my Shaman. I know he knows I have to switch into Shaman. I know he's gonna click Ice Beam, but I am Spadef, so I think I can just about take it. Hopefully, he's not like Choice Specs. Oh, he's Choice Specs, but we live. I have to go for Giga Train. We do a good chunk. We put him at 42%. But he does, unfortunately, kill off my Shaman. Ooh, which is pretty bad. Is pretty bad. I'd go into my Infernape. Gunk Shot's the only thing that guaranteed kills, and I missed the Gunk Shot. And that was a crushing defeat. Yeah, we lost 4-0. I mean, I said it when my Bronzong died. I lost the game there. It's like, I needed Bronzong. And I think I probably should have, like, if I'd have let Jellicent, things would have turned out differently. Maybe if I brought the Scarf Jellicent I was originally going to bring, things would have turned out differently. Maybe if I'd have hit Leech Seed, Stone Edge, Gunk Shot, things would have turned out differently. Because from my calcs, Stone Edge had a chance to do 42% there. Like, that was a high roll, a very high roll, but I had a chance. So if I hit the Stone Edge on the Mandibuzz, do about 40% to him, like with the Leech Seed and stuff, he gets really low there. As in, he can't take a hit off the rock, switches out into Primarina, gets hit with the Stone Edge, I switch out into Shaman, then a Giga Drain can kill him off. Then, like, he has 3 months left and all of them die to Flare Blitz. Like, I have a chance, I think, to win. But, like I say, I have to hit all of those attacks for that to come around. The gunk shot, I locked myself into it, and he had a Magnezone, so I knew the game was over, but differential was important. And, I mean, you want to talk to me about a differential being important? Right now, in the league, you got Yoshi and Sil, who are way ahead of everybody in first and second, and then there are 4 people, all with a 2-2 record, and I'm one of them. Lee is ahead of me on differential by 1 point, then it's me, then it's Rev, then it's Sean. Differential is the only thing separating those people. That's huge. Differential is very, very important. And had this only been a 3-0 loss, I would have actually been tied with Lee. So, but yeah, this was a horrible matchup. Second horrible matchup in a row for me. And that calls for changes to the team. Because it's just not fitting my playstyle. And so I have to make changes to it. Because, you know, we're allowed 3 changes, so I'm going to make 3 changes. And the first of them is just a Pokemon that has just done nothing. It's just done nothing all season. And I really had high hopes for it, but it doesn't fit my playstyle at all. It just baits Scarfers. I'm in constant fear of things like Kevia Berry and Choice Scarfers. And, you know, there are things that just hard wall it. I don't think it adds anything to the team. Because a lot of my team gets bug and poison coverage. And that Pokemon is Mega Beedrill. I have to drop Beedrill. Like, all it's done all season is scare people. Screen froze again for a second there. As I was saying, we're dropping Mega Beedrill and picking up Mega Manectric, which again is a fast, hard-hitting, momentum-gaining Mon, but I prefer its Pokemon. It gets Intimidate, so it can actually take hits, it can actually switch in on things. It threatened things out. It's just, I think it's going to fit me a little bit better. I like fast electric types. And then you're thinking, ooh, but you already have a Jolteon. That's redundant. And I completely agree with you. So I am dropping Jolteon, and I am picking up Alolan Muck, which is one of my absolute favorites. It's just so good. It's so difficult to take it down. I don't know how much use I'm going to get out of it, but there wasn't much in Tier 3 that I wanted, but unfortunately Jolteon had to go. I love Jolteon, but Mega Manectric is a better Jolteon, so Jolteon had to go. And then I realised that I had points remaining, so I could drop a Tier 3 and pick up a Tier 2, and that meant I could swap out Zygarde 10%, who does not fit my playstyle whatsoever. It's way too frail. It's just really, I don't like it. And I could pick up Mamoswine, which is the wall breaker that this team needed. And do these changes make the team perfect? No. Do they make it better? Not necessarily. Do they make it better for me? Absolutely. I much prefer my team now. I mean, I team built against Sil, and much more confident with that matchup after making these changes. And speaking of Sil, we got him next, and we have to win. If we lose, we're out of playoffs, basically. Which is bad. But yeah, that's the situation I got myself in. 2 bad matches in a row. Props to Yoshi. There was a chance I could win this match if I made all the right plays, and he made all the right plays, and so he won. Props to him. There will be a link in the description for his side of the battle. Go watch it. It's actually live com. It's good stuff. Anyways, I don't think I'm going to have time for a team builder against Sil, but I'll try and make it live com. Probably won't.